I'm not gonna lie, like I had panic attacks and I had like those mental breakdowns where I was like, I'm just gonna give up, I'm gonna quit college. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a college Q&A type of video. I asked people on my Instagram to send me questions that they had about college or my first year experience in particular. So I'm just gonna be answering those questions today and have some advice at the end that I would recommend to first year college students. And there goes my dog. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So the first question I got asked was, why did you choose Sac State? So I go to Sac State, and the reason why I chose it was because I only had two choices, and it was between Chico State and Sac State. I had a scholarship opportunity for Chico State, but Sac State was closer and I didn't feel like living on the dorms because that was going to be a lot more expensive. I think Sac State was like the perfect choice for me because it's local and I get to stay at home still and live with my family, and it wasn't too far from like the community that I'm familiar with. So what's your major? And you guys will be getting this question a lot in like all your classes your first year, probably even further than that. But so my major is history, and it's actually history pre-credential, which means I am focusing on studying the subject of history, but I will be also taking like social science classes, geology classes, and economics classes and poli-sci and all that stuff because I am studying to be a high school teacher. So yeah, that's my major. What was the hardest part about adjusting to college? So this question is actually really easy for me to answer because the whole college adjustment was just the hardest part for me. I am not a big person with change. Like I hate change, and I liked my last half of high school, like my junior and senior year. I had like a really strong connection in my high school. So going into a new school was kind of hard because I didn't really know that much people there. I mean, like I still had friends that were like from my high school that went there, but we didn't see each other as often. And I also didn't know the campus as familiar. I was just kind of confused really on like what I really wanted to do, because at first I started off as a math major and I quickly learned that that is not what I wanted to do, which I will get into later. But yeah, that's pretty much what the hardest adjustment was, just like the whole transition between high school and college. Did you gain the freshman 15? I personally didn't. I think that the reason why I didn't was because I actually lost 15 pounds before going into college because I was at the gym all summer. And then I kind of just stayed a constant weight walking around campus, and I also went to the gym as much as I could during my breaks. I didn't gain it because I was working out and I was still living at home, so I think that kind of played a part in why I didn't gain the freshman 15. I feel like if I was living in the dorms, I probably would have, because I probably wouldn't be eating the best, but since I'm living at home, I'm still eating what my parents cook. How did you deal with stress? I didn't. I really struggled a lot with stress during my first semester and my second semester. I think what really got me through it though was talking to my friends or my like old teachers or my support system basically, and just kind of having them motivate me to get through assignments that were really difficult for me to accomplish. And that kind of helped me a lot with stress because I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I had panic attacks and I had like those mental breakdowns where I was like, I'm just gonna give up, I'm gonna quit college, but I didn't, and I pushed through it. And trust me, having a support system in college is gonna be like your best way of getting through it. This first year of college is difficult. I went into college thinking that it was gonna be exactly like high school, and it wasn't, and so that kind of messed with me mentally. Be aware that college is different than high school, and you are gonna have to have like that support system and find friends in college. Is college hard or is it fun? So for me, this question is pretty funny because I feel like it's both. College is hard. It is difficult because you don't have teachers who are pushing you or reminding you to do your homework or to turn in things in, because it's basically all on you. If you don't do it, that's on you. They're not going to remind you. They're not your babysitters in college because you are an adult at that point to them. And it is fun. If you find the right group of friends and you like go out and you experience college life, like go to the football games, which I wish I did more this semester because I didn't really go to any like the football games or basketball games that I really want to go. next semester, hopefully if this whole situation's over with, I can go to the football games. Just be more involved in the school and then you will have fun. And was it worth joining a sorority? So if you guys don't know, I am in Phi Mu. I am in a sorority on my school's campus. And yes, it is totally worth it. I found like my best friends in that organization. I love my big, I love my little, love my soulmate. They are so amazing. My family is amazing. They are honestly like my biggest support in college. Like if I'm stressed, I literally will just text my big like, hey, what do I do about this? And she gives me like the best advice. So it's great to have like that connection on your campus, and I feel like being a part of the organization also pushed me to get through my first year, because there were times where I was like, okay, I want to quit. Like not my sorority, but quit college. And I just kept reminding myself, you know what, I have this commitment to this organization and I love it so much and I have friends in there and I don't want to give that up. So that kind of helped me stay in college and push me through my first year. Was it easy to make friends outside of your sorority? And for me, at first it was really difficult because again, like my school's local. So I had people there that were from my old college, from my old school, but I didn't see them as often because we have different classes, different majors, so you're gonna be split apart. And so I really didn't see them that often. So sometimes I would go and like text my friends like, hey, you wanna meet up during your break? I have a break right now, like let's go chill out in the library. And we would do that, and so that was kind of like my friendships before my sorority. But then I joined my sorority and then I became more involved with them and didn't really hang out as much with my friends before, but I still would kind of check in with my old friends. And I also joined this, it's not really a club, but it's like this hangout spot that we had on our campus. We just basically go and eat snacks, and like this professor held it in her office, and I made like some really close friends in that little hangout space. So I highly recommend that you guys do try to branch out and find those spots on your campus that you could be a part of and make friends, because friends are going to really get you through your first year. Is college everything you expected it to be? No. I honestly, I don't know. For me, it's kind of hard. Like, yes, I expected it to be harder than high school, but I didn't expect it to be a different system than high school was, if that makes sense. So like, I expected professors would remind you about like work and turning the assignments and will remind you about deadlines, but they don't. They literally just say a deadline the day of, and you have to remember that all on your own. So that was a little change for me, because I was used to like professors or teachers in high school holding my hand like, oh yeah, just make sure that you guys turn this in, you guys have a couple days to do this, and like they're more lenient with deadlines, but professors really aren't. It depends on the professor you have, of course, because some professors do let you extend your deadlines, but it just really depends on the professor themselves. What were your first impressions going into college? Okay, so going into college, the first day, me and my friend Eleanor, we went on campus together, and we kind of took a look around the campus beforehand, before our classes started, because we didn't know where anything was because we didn't look beforehand. So we just went to go familiarize ourselves with our classes. So I was like, wow, this campus is so big, I'm literally gonna get lost. Like, there's no way I'm gonna remember where my classes are. But after like the first 2 weeks, I kind of got used to like where everything was on campus, and so I was able to find my classes really fast. But I think my first impressions were just that this campus is huge and I'm gonna get lost, but I didn't. And so I'm thankful that I actually got used to the campus surroundings, because I really didn't think I was going to, and I was going to be lost all the time. What's your favorite area on campus? So for me, there's a couple that I like to be when I like just want to do homework or eat or chill. We have this place called the riverfront area, and it's basically like a food court area, and I go there a lot to go eat bagels and to go and do my homework and study in the morning before my classes start. My other favorite place would have to be I say like the Union. It's like another place like on the other side of campus, and it does have like food court area too, but it has like Starbucks and all that stuff. And the Starbucks area lounge is like really comfy. They have couches there, so I just kind of like to like hang out there and charge my phone while like between my breaks. Things nobody tells you about college. I would say the one thing that people don't tell you about college is how different it is from high school, because people are like, oh, high school prepares you for college, but I really don't think it does, to be so honest. It doesn't prepare you for those professors that don't remind you about deadlines, because most teachers do. They remind you about deadlines and to like do your homework and all that stuff. And I said that earlier, kind of like professors don't do that. they just say, this is the deadline. If you guys don't do it, that sucks, you get a 0. And it's also very different in the circumstances where it's harder to make friends because your classes pace very fast and you're only in their first semester and then you change it to a new class. Sorry, my phone died. So yeah, so like I always thought that it would be easy to make friends in college, but it isn't, because since your classes are always changing, you're not always in the same classes. Thanks, garbage truck. Okay. Anyways, so that kind of goes in part into my advice, is to make friends in your classes, because sometimes those friends do become like your friends throughout the whole college, your first year of college or even past that. So I haven't experienced my second year, my third year, or my fourth year yet, so I am still making friends as I go. But definitely find friends in your classes, because they can also help you when you do forget an assignment or you need help on an assignment. They are really needed. Now I'm gonna go into kind of like my little advices real quick before my camera dies again. The first advice I have is to use Rate My Professor. This kind of goes without saying, a lot of people know about this website, but I highly recommend it because my first semester I didn't, and I kind of just chose classes based off like what I needed, and I regretted it because some of my classes were really hard and I didn't really like the professor, and some professors were new. You will probably change your major. I definitely did. This is not for everyone. Some people like their majors and stay in their majors, but if you change your major, that's okay. Like, it is okay to change your major, because I did. And your first year and second year, that is definitely an okay thing to do. Once you get into your third and fourth year, maybe not, because then you're just like kind of having to restart at that point. But I changed because I thought I knew that I wanted to be a math teacher and that I wanted to major in math so I can do an emphasis in teaching. And I got into my calculus class and I was like, F my life, like this sucks. And I struggled, and that class I cried a lot in, not gonna lie. I really cried in that class a lot, and I just kind of gave up at the end of it. And I realized that if I couldn't even do that calculus 1 class, there wasn't gonna be no point in me and continuing on and trying to redo that class multiple times. So I ended up switching, sorry, I don't know what that was. I ended up switching my major to history because I really do enjoy history and social science, so I am so far loving it, and I'm glad I made that decision to switch. And the other piece of advice I have is to, I keep thinking of it and it slips out of my head. I'll come back to it if I remember. Okay, so I remembered it while editing. For textbooks, if you have a textbook that is really, really expensive, I recommend to go on Amazon or eBay or Chegg or one of those websites to get a cheaper textbook than buying it from your school's bookstore, because it is going to save you a lot of money and you can always resell it after instead of just returning the books. So that was that advice. Back to the rest of the video. Utilize the facilities at your school. It's a part of your tuition, so why not use it? Our gym at our school is part of our tuition, so if I'm paying that tuition money, I'm definitely going to use the gym. I'm definitely going to take free classes that are spin classes or yoga classes, because they help with your mental health too. Like, you need those classes to really help you get through stress, that kind of stress, as well as to taking like care of your body. So I do utilize facilities at school. Utilize the mental health facilities. If you need counseling, go to counseling. If you need the medication there, if you need to go use the medical center there at your school, use it, because it does come with your tuition and it comes at a cheaper price. So definitely utilize your school facilities, as well as like the printers and copiers and all that stuff if you need printing for your classes. Also, go to class. Don't skip class, because I definitely made this mistake a lot of times in my first semester and my second semester, not gonna lie. Once you stop going to class or you skip class once in a while, you will make that a habit. I did that in my geology class last semester. I stopped going like every other Tuesday because I was like, oh, he posts it online, I can just do it online. And I still passed, but I was definitely struggling to catch up. And that was the worst mistake, was not going to class. Some professors don't really grade you on your attendance, so they won't notice, but some professors do. My professor this year did a grade on attendance, but luckily not luckily, but because of this whole situation with like coronavirus and all that stuff, my other professor, I already had 2 absences and we had 3 absences max, or else we failed the class, and we get graded on that. So I probably would have left like a C in attendance, but she give us all 95% because of the whole situation right now. So I luckily passed with a B- on that class. Also, another advice I forgot to mention also to the what nobody tells you about is that an A- is lower than an A on the GPA scale. So if you're really trying to get a 4.0 in college, an A- is going to bring you down. So if you try to maintain that 4.0 like average, if you had a 4.0 in college or in high school, or if you just want a 4.0 this year, make sure you stay on that A grind, because A- do bring down your GPA. I think that's pretty much it, all I had. I don't really remember what my other thing was, but if I remember later, I will hopefully insert it when I'm editing. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this helped you guys with like you going into your first year of college, and I know it's going to be a little bit different because some colleges, especially the CSU system, will mostly be online next semester too. But I really hope that this helped you guys as much as possible. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye guys.